Hello everyone, Switch over here. This time I'm going to talk about a subject that might have some effect on others, and it is about love. Since Valentine's Day recently was and has passed, for others they might be a sad day, and for others very much a happy day. For those who hasn't this to celebrate this day with someone special, and I can tell from experience how that feels. But I will get at the point to our moment. At first, I would like to say, even those people who hasn't anyone special to spend the day with, even not a boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance, you can still celebrate this day even for with family, friends. There hasn't had to be a special someone who is in love with. They can you still be friends. You can give one very close friend some a card, a gift, or just ask him maybe if we go out for take some a coffee or maybe dinner or something, just as friends, but still as romantic, friendly, romantic ways. But now I want to talk about what I mentioned just a moment ago. Of my personal experience about not to celebrate this particular day. Well, I was single for at least nearly 7 years, and especially and at Valentine's Day, it was probably one of the most worst day ever for me. Especially to see a lot of my friends or other people much very happy, eating candy together, giving flowers, chocolate, anything, just to express their love. That breaks my heart. To see others so happy about it, to spend their time with this special someone. But me, no. For what reason? What happened? Well, for the last, for the past 7 years before I met my girlfriend Rose, I did have several relationships, but some of them didn't last that long. Often a few weeks to a couple of months. Only one lasted a year. But those relationships often started maybe a short time after the Valentine's Day, or sometimes before, and ended before the Valentine's Day. Some of those relationships could start like in summer and ended a few maybe sometimes during the fall, or they couldn't even start sometimes maybe sometime during the winter the next year after, and ended sometime during a few weeks to a couple of months later during spring, just before Valentine's Day. For over those past 7 years or the past, I thought I was cursed. Cursed, as I say, cursed. Sorry. Like I said, I thought I was cursed by what I called short love curse. Because the why I call it short love curse? Well, because the reason I had a so short time of relationship between a couple of months to a couple of weeks, or well, you may understand what I mean. So after my last relationship I had for almost like 7 years ago, I was nearly giving up to find my special someone until I found Rose. Well, I've been a friend with her over a year by then, but my feelings for her was deep down until I didn't realize that until it was much later. Then, and now, we had been together for about 2 months, and I was very much very happy about it. And I have to say this, that this would be my first Valentine's Day with anyone special. I was actually looking forward to spend it with her, even though I couldn't spend it with her in person. But that day took a big turn from a happy day to probably one of the worst day ever. And I'm sorry, I won't get much in details, except for that it was a lot of, well, I was anger. And the reason why? Well, actually two reasons. One is that I never had that such happy moment with anyone special during that day. And the other second reason, I had built up so much anger inside and never released any of it. And just when I saw how much anger inside, and just one small detail about it, and any small, I can kind of explode when it happens. When it's all just a minor bad talking, I mean, I can literally explode like a volcano. And I kinda scared Rose about it. But I'm sure her that that will never happen again. I never did that to any one of my other previous relationships before. I just snapped. But I promised her that I will release my anger more often in some way, so they wouldn't even have to build up so much, so there will be so much outburst again. And also doing this, and also to have this Valentine's Day this year, I was sick by this common cold, which they made the day even worse. But I'm happy it up to her as best as I can. And I promised her next year it will be the special day for us. And now, let's talk about love. Some other people that might not have this their particular special someone. For example, it might happen that if you have someone to spend the day with, and then you find your special someone, and then suddenly it ended, maybe the day before, or during that same day, or maybe a day after. Or it might just happen that it ends, just like that. Because you never know about the relationships, if they will last long enough, or if they will surprise enough last for years, or maybe just a few months, a couple of weeks. It happens to me for many times, so I'm kinda used to it. And I have to say, I am prepared for if this relationship doesn't work. If this fails after a few months or maybe a year, if this fails after like for next 2 months or so, I am I must very prepared for it, since it happens to me countless of times. So it wouldn't surprise me if this current relationship won't work. But even I do anything to make it work, but it's sometimes even you try and try over and over to make it work, and sometimes all that work is to nothing. Love works in a mysterious way. You can find someone you much in love with at any time, in any place. This can be school, work, or outside for a walk, or in the forest when you take a walk. It could be anywhere. Like, for example, if you have a friend or a neighbor that you know for maybe a couple of years, and then suddenly you both of somehow your neighbor has been in a relationship for many years, and then suddenly her boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up, and the other person is quite sad for it, and then the good neighbor stop up to make sure the person is feels love, that is taken care of anyways, and suddenly it might happen that a new love, a new relationship can form from that. From friends to couple to marriage and perhaps a family. But at some point of this, love, as like I said, in some mysterious way. Even if we want to make our love to last much longer than we often doesn't want to have. I mean, sometimes we want love to last for a long time. But at some point of your life trying, if your feelings for each other has been not answering for some time and you're drifting apart, but even trying to build up the romance. Sometimes it actually works much better than you expect, but some other times you still drift apart. Even to try and over to make this romance to reborn again, to to make your romance between your special someone to work. But at the same time, even those attempts fails, and you still bring it further and further away. Love sometimes can be so much mysterious that we don't know who it will be or a special someone, or if we'll ever have our special someone. Because some people has been trying for years to find the special someone, speed dating, dating online, dating a friend, but sometimes end up nothing. So some people just give up to find someone, their special someone, and then at some point they find it when you not at least expect it. That is one of the mysterious ways that love has. You never know when you find your special someone. Never. Even you try to predict your love, and even you try and try over and over. Love can sometimes be works in mysterious ways. Even you try to understand how the love works. Even science can even explain why it happens. Some things that can science not even explain why. Like my father once said to me, there is things between Earth and the sky which science can't explain. And I telling all this, even I'm not a love expert, I'm still much young and still learning new things every day. But I'm telling you this of my own experience, what I have learned over the several years. And but there is one thing that I might should be worth telling. I used to be in love with someone for so much, very deeply. When I first saw her, more than 10 years ago, it felt like a lightning striking my heart. And at first I didn't know exactly what it was about. It took me at least a few years later until I realized it was love at first sight. Many people don't believe in love at first sight. Maybe people believe that it will have to take time to build those kind of emotions or feelings. But it doesn't have to be that sometimes. About this girl I liked that much. It took a few years. When I was in about 8th grade, no 7th grade, I received a letter from my old class then back then that she wrote that she had a boyfriend, and that crushed my heart. So when I was in 8th grade and she was in 7th grade, I started to give her a lot of notes, perhaps around 10 of them, hoping that she will answer. But no answer. It took me another year, but that time I had a girlfriend, someone out of my closest friends, and she even told me that the girl I liked for so many years still had those notes, and that sometimes she even read them from time to time. So I thought maybe she had fallen in love with me as well. So when my relationship ended with my current girlfriend then, I thought maybe that girl I liked, maybe one day to come up to me and tell me that she loves me. I waited and waited for an answer, but no, nothing. I thought maybe she would come up to me after she found out my current relationship has ended, and she will come up to me to tell me, but no. And I had no idea until now why. So when I first then started in the third and almost one of the last years in school, then during a lunch break, when I was talking to one of my friends over Messenger, she told one of my friends by then that the same girl I was together with at high school or in 8th grade. She told me the reason why the girl I liked didn't answer back, or even told me. She told me that the reason why the girl I liked for so many years didn't tell me because she didn't want to hurt my feelings. She was never interested in me in the same way. She liked me as a friend. And she said that to another friend that the reason why she didn't tell me, she didn't want to hurt my feelings, she didn't want to make me sad. And if she had told me back then, I would probably much likely be quite sad by that. But but when I was told later on, I think that was when I was maybe 17, 18, I think something like that. I wasn't sad. I was more heartbroken. But at deep down, I just completely understood that she didn't want to hurt my feelings. But even I was hurt back then. But at some point as well later on, I forgive her. I forgive her. And since then, we have been very much close friends. Even we have several common friends, some common interests, but we never been on a date ever, never. But we still are close friends. I even consider her as a cousin or a sister. She's one of my oldest friends I have. But regardless this, I still consider her as a much close friend, even that part of my life, of the chapter of my life has been closed, and I moved on to the next chapter, which until in now. I know that many people wonders if they will ever find a special someone, but even you're trying to look, dating a friend or online, even those people not has no, if you don't feel any connection or the right chemistry, but don't have to worry. Most people do find a special someone, even if it take a year, 2 years, or even 10 years. You will find someone, even if it takes a little bit time. Even you suddenly stop looking, and you might even run into someone that you start to like. It could be anyone. Could be an old friend, could be a neighbor, could be anyone. So my advice to all of you, don't give up. Don't ever give up. If I had give up myself, I would never find my current girlfriend Rose. And I would never be this happy as I am now. So my personal advice to all of you, don't give up. Wait and listen to your heart. Ask a friend, ask a family member for advice. You can ask anyone for advice for what to do and not to do. And even you could sometimes look up on the internet to find some advice as well. Ask anyone, friends, family members, anyone. So my personal question is to all of them, listen to your heart. And as always, this is Swedish W over and out.